So excited to have everybody here. Thank you for jumping on. Tonight I have the privilege of introducing a dear friend, a sideline NMD in Bronwyn Hunter. Now I met Bronnie in 2013 at the Perth conference that year. Jomo was with me. We went all the way over to the west back in the olden days. Seems like such a long time ago, but it really isn't. And we met the Perth ladies front and centre, and of course Bronwyn was there, open arms to welcome us to what was back then quite a small Australian Jizz Plus. There was a photo of Team Spirit going over to that conference, and I think there was 14 of us in that photo back then. So our conferences were a lot different. They were I think we probably only had about 200 that year in Perth. But that is where I met Bronwyn. And what I absolutely loved was just her open arm policy, her what can I help you with, what do you need. It was an absolute beginning of an amazing sideline relationship, but a friendship as well. So I'm very honoured to have you here on our call tonight, Bronwyn, to share something that I know that you are amazing at and that we can always learn. Now, Bron's been in the business for over 20 years and joined the business at the age of 52. So she got started, you know, when she was heading towards retirement. And I know that she's always said that it was something she could retire into, and that's definitely what she has done over these past 20 years. So let's get everyone to mute as they're jumping on, please. That would be great. So, Bron, without much further ado, I do want to hand over to you so you can take us through your amazing process of customer care, customer retention, customer acquisition, but also back in those old days, the 5-1 was pretty much all we had. And it was definitely what Christine and I built our businesses on from scratch. That 5-1 every month. The first month was the $150 bonus. If you backed it up the next month, you got a $300 bonus. If you maintained it, you got the $300 bonus. But if you fell out of a 5-1, you got nothing. And then the next month you had to go back to $150. And I tell you, the loss of potentially $450 in bonuses definitely kept us going, and it really was the lifeblood of how we built our businesses all those years ago. So I'll hand over to you, Bronwyn. Thank you so much for being here with us. We are so excited to have you. Take it away, share your gold.
Okay, thank you, Fee, for inviting me, because I absolutely love these calls because we can be raw and real. We can actually say it how it should be. And I'm absolutely passionate around why our customers are our piece of gold. Now, you're going to hear me say that a lot tonight because they are. And I'm going to share with you a journey around why customers are your gold. And you will always hear me say, if you don't have customers, you don't have a business. So please keep that in the back of your minds as well. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business, because your customers and the volume you get from your customers is what you get paid on. And that's what the business model is. Now, to me, how will I say, taking your customers on our health journey of making simple changes to their health, and you walking alongside of them and helping them and being with them is what I have done with my customers in the last probably the first 8 years. I'll tell you about that in a moment. The first 8 years, I wasn't really into customers. I wasn't really into customer care. But boy, I had a big wake-up call, and I'm going to share that with you. So it's about, I want you to perhaps think about changing your verbiage on using the word customer. Because I have come from from traditional business, customers are customers in, customers out, customers in, customers out. To me, what our business is taking a you can call them clients if you want. I don't like that. I basically use, with the team, we talk about new friendships. And what I'm going to share with you, you're going to see we are building friendships. So we'll call them friendships, or we can call them just new friends. But don't use the word customer, because otherwise you get that mindset, customers in, customers out. And it's easier, guys, to keep a customer than find a new one. I have to tell you that right now, that to keep a customer is easier than finding a new one. And what the journey is for those customers is you helping to change their health. Those simple changes to each person that you are servicing, I don't know about you, but it absolutely fills my cup every single day along the way of my journey with my customers. And they are your lifeblood moving forward. So that's what I'd love to see you all do, is treat them as friends and not customers, because it creates that gorgeous feeling of energy. And I like to say to my customer when I sign somebody up, and most of them are total strangers to start with, but I basically say, are you open to join me at the hip and let's walk along this journey together? Because you want to be able to keep them for a long period of time. So, and what happens is you create raving fan customers / friendships. They become raving fans, okay? And what I know, they become your voice. They become the people that share with their friends and also their family what they have achieved in their health journey. And that's where you get referrals, big time. My customers, I don't have to go and get a lot of customers. I get so many referrals. Now, what I'm going to share with you is 3 customers that I've had. One is 12 years, one is 13 years, and one is 15 years. And I've been in this business 21 years in September. So that's been a pretty good innings, would you say? And what I'm going to share with you is these 3 customers have only been on fruit and veg, because that's all we had back then was fruit and veg. They've never wanted any more. They've never wanted to go any further. They were very happy on their fruit and veg because it fitted in with their household budget. And I actually sat down and I worked out exactly what a customer was worth to me. And this is what I worked out, that my 12-year-old customer, 3 boxes a year, and I receive $219.12 every year. Now, I want you to times that, guy, on your calculators, get it out, because you have to see these figures for yourself. I'm not going to tell you the figures. I want you to taste it and feel it. So $219.12 times 12 years. Okay, how about we put in the chat how much that is? Well, it's actually $219.12. I'm down to the cents, guys. Keep this all pure. it's $2,629.44, correct? Right, that's one customer. Now I want you to multiply that by 3. What does that look like? $7,888.32. Now, don't you think that's pretty good compounding money that you get when you look at the big picture? Don't look at a customer as, you know, you get the retail profit and then you get the commission. I want you to look at it bigger, and I want you to look at a customer or a friend, and these people are now friends, absolute friends. We go out, we go to movies. At Christmas time, I always give them a bottle of either Berry or Amigas or some Complete, a bottle of wine. I take them out to lunch because I value their loyalty to our brand. And that, guys, is really, really important to know the loyalty that you are going to get and the referrals that you are going to get. You need to love on every customer. Okay, so that to me is a testament to being really keeping in your minds exactly what your mission and purpose is, and it is about helping people make health changes like you have and how you feel. I know what Juice Plus has done for me, and where I came from is so deep, deep in my heart of, I know to this day, there's no way I'd be sitting in front of you guys if I'd stayed on the health road that I was on before Tamara basically pulled my heartstrings and said, Mum, I need you to be on this product. So I am forever grateful to her, because my health is better now than I was when I was in my 40s. I have to be really honest with you there. So I want you to really take that aboard, that it's so, so important to know that you're taking people on a health journey. And it can be forever. And it is with these 3 people. They will never go off Juice Plus. They will go to their grave with Juice Plus, because we laugh about that, because they are mature people. So customer care should always be on your radar every single day. Have your system in place from day to day. Make sure that you're in contact with them. And that fear that people have around that next box of Juice Plus is not there when you have a friendship, because it's just not there. They're ready, because you're keeping them in their habit, and that's the big thing. You've got to keep your customers in their habit until they're raving fans, and then they stay in their habit. And I send them text messages, and I'll say, just a gentle reminder to take your 2 fruit, 2 veggie today. And I get back, oh shit, yeah, great, yeah, oh yeah, oh, I'll go and do it now. And then I get these beautiful messages, and I get cards and all sorts of things saying, thank you for looking after us every day. Because it just brings them back. Because we all go out of habits, agree? We all go out of habits. So it's a matter of, they come into my mind and I'll send them a text message. Then I'll have a conversation with them. It's like you do with your friends all the time. So that is really, really important to me. Now, the other reason I want to share, one thing I want to share with you is in the beginning, and like I said, in my first 8 years, I hate to tell you, I don't like telling this story, but I do anyway. And that is, as I said, I didn't do customer care very well. And back then we used to have profile sheets, and we would write, because I'd come from the cosmetic industry, we always had profiles on clients. So I would keep every profile of every customer that I have had. And when I resigned from my JOB and came in and did Juice Plus full time, I decided one day to add up all of these customers that I'd lost. And in 8 years, it just horrified me, but in 8 years, I had lost 180 customers. Okay, so being a figures person that I am, I actually then did, well, we'll use fruit and veg, and I received $73.04 per box on average. And then I'll, just for tonight's exercise, we'll say that most of the time I got them all to have 3 cycles. So they're on it for a year. So we use the figure again, the $219.12, times that by 180, guys. Tell me what that figure is. Yeah, exactly, Fee. The horror look on your face. And I have to tell you all, my husband said to me many times, and he's still saying it, every now and again he reminds me, he said, that $39,441.60, he would say, that's a few trips, Bron, that we missed out on. So he reminds me of that. And you know what? I share that with our team many, many times in different new groups. And Natalie Baldock always says to me, I remember when you told us about the 180 clients you did have. And I said, Nat, I don't need to be reminded of it. I said, I get reminded of that all the time. So customer care from that day on, guys, has always been on my radar every single day. So like I said, make sure you have a system in place. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, so that's giving you a bit of a background and what a customer is worth to you. Now I'm going to get into the itty-gritty around why we should be doing 5 ones every month. Okay, so as I said, I don't apologize about the money and what I want you to think about. I always say to a team member, what 5-1 means is I want you to think about a particular bill you want to pay at the end of the month. And as we all know, on a brand new customer, we get the retail profit up front. Okay? So if you have a bill that you need $300, then doing a 5-1 takes the pressure off the household budget, because 5 times, and we'll use premium because that's what we're all selling today, is premium and sharing, times 61 times 5 is $305. There's that bill. You can tick it off, that you're helping the household budget instantly. Does that make sense? And I want you to always have that in the back of your mind, because that is what, when I brought Natalie Baldock in to my team, that's all I taught her, was go for the bonus money. Because I say to you all, do not leave money on Peter Glennie's table. I'm really like out there with that. And I'm always saying to Peter Glennie all the time, even now, I love saying to him, we didn't leave any money on your table this month, Pete. And he just cracks up laughing, because that's how I think. If the money is there, and when we look at the bonus money that is on the table for us now, don't leave it there, guys. Just my mantra is focus equals action equals result. And that's what we need to be doing with your 5-1. And I'm saying to you, for 5-1, you either go social media or you go face to face, but be loud and proud about the product that we have today and the research we have around the product today. You know what? It's just share your passion around what it's done for you. That's all you need to be doing. Is we have the research, so we've got, you can be loud and proud about the product, but it's more how you're feeling about the product and what it's done for you, your family, your friends, is what's the most important thing. And that's, and getting 5 customers, to me, should be a given. It's almost in your own mind. Don't listen to the voices that you hear, the negative voices. I want you to think about being loud and proud of what it's done for you. Know you've got the backup from the company, and just stay focused on saying to yourself, and write it down. I'm a great believer in don't think it, ink it. And you write people's names down that you know needs, or you believe they need to be on Juice Plus, or it would make a difference for them, their family and children, particularly children today. We should all be doing 5-1 and saying to ourselves, it's non-negotiable. And with that new teamie that we are bringing in, that's all you teach, is to do the 5-1 as well as get their bonuses, their Freedom Rocket. It's that simple. We have the best product on the planet. What it's done for you, and they're going to feel your heart. They're going to feel your passion, your energy, your excitement around. All they have to do is just decide and make the choice to say, I'm going to give this product a go. And we know with customer care, if you really come from your hearts and say to yourself, you're really going to put a lot more effort into your customer care, that you will have a customer forever, like I have. Is that helpful, Fee?
Absolutely, Bron. Thank you very much. This is all wonderful, because I guess sometimes it's easy to celebrate. Yeah, I got my 5-1, or I got that coming through, and then you just kind of next and move on to the next month and go on to your next 5. And I think corporate's got our back with all the reminders that come out, and the emails and the customer portal. We never had that back in the day. We've got the Life app coming out, which should be out in September, which is just another way. And can I let you know, because I've got a little bit of insight on this customer app, that eventually it'll be hooked up, so that if Bronny's my customer and Bronny logs onto that app and the first thing it asks you is how you're feeling today, and she picks a sad face and she's feeling a bit crappy, I'm going to get an alert. Bron's not feeling so good. So another trigger for me to go in and do some customer care. Now, seriously, guys, this company has got our back, no matter which way we turn. You know, this is something that it might not happen in the first release of the app, but long term, you can't actually download the app unless you have logged onto the customer portal. So teaching your customers now to log on to that customer portal and have that ability to control their order and change their addresses and their credit cards. I mean, that's all compliance stuff and that's all coming through. But, you know, we've got all these touch points from corporate. If we just go that little bit further and deliver some great customer care like Bronny's suggesting, and I know we've got people on the call who are already doing such a great job. But Bron, maybe you could touch on, apart from the berries and the Amigas at Christmas and maybe a bottle of wine and a lunch, is there any other thing that you've seen in your customer care years, either yourself or within your team, that you think has been a really great program to help retain your customers?
I would have to say our children's health study that was, and now our Healthy Family Start, I would have to say to you all, the biggest thing that people love has been when you send the child a birthday card or a small gift for their birthdays. Has been, I have a few franchisees are very, very diligent around that. And they just said it just makes them cry. They get messages, or they'll get a thank you card back from the parents saying, we've never been part of a company that is so caring. And I think it's those little bits that really have made a big difference as well. But I think for customer care, for me, when I have a brand new customer, I basically, the first question I say to them is, it's my job to keep you in your habit. That's what the company pays me for, is to keep you in your habit. So what I would like to do is ask you, what day and what time of the day would be the best for me to contact you? Would you like to be contacted by email, landline, or your mobile? And basically what I get, and I'm able to put on their profile, is it's not about us ringing when it's convenient to us. It's about what's convenient to them. You work in their time frame, not your time frame. And that has worked really, really well in our teams that are really into their customer care, to actually honour that customer by working in their time frame, not your time frame. So that's another big tip for you all. And you set that up from day one. Okay, and you can, I mean, if you've got customers you've had for a while, you can do that now. You can say, look, I've just thought, you know what, I'm trying to contact you at different times and it's not working. Could we set up a time that's convenient to you? What time of the day, night, and which way would you like to be contacted? Are you open to getting a newsletter? Are you open? You ask them what they want. I've got X amount of customers that love to go to our events, and they'll go, they love it, absolutely love it. And it's a great catch up. So events are really another place to invite your customers, because a lot of people want to be part of a community. So that to me is another helpful thing, because it keeps them on track of taking the product, and they learn tips and tricks along the way from events, from newsletters, or every now and again I'll find something in the newspaper and I'll take a screenshot and I'll say, I don't know if you read this in the paper today, but boy, I'm glad you're taking your 33 different vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. How good are we? How good are we? And I'll give them a little thumbs up sign. So it's that sort of thing. You're playing with it. Is that helpful, Fee?
Absolutely. Do you know what? One of my customers actually sent me a dog toy when we got our puppy. Like, you know, she'd seen it on Facebook, and I see her regularly. She's someone I see in my weekly travels, and you know, she just reached out, and it's little things like that. You know, it's a two-way street. But you know, if your customer's coming in, maybe giving you a new address because they're moving, then send them something for their new house or the new puppy or the new baby or whatever it is. I mean, these days it's so easy to stalk your customers on social media, see what's going on in their life. And I've got to admit, I do that definitely before I've got my list of who I contact and when I contact them. But definitely go and have a bit of a sticky beat before I contact them to make a comment about something that's going on in their lives. I think this is all gold. I'm taking lots of notes, Bronnie, and I've learnt lots from you in the past, and I continue to do so. Does anyone have any questions in particular that they would like Bron to answer about customer care? Please pop them into the chat if you do. There's lots of thank yous and lots of this is gold in there, Bronnie, in the comments. But, you know, I think it is definitely, we have a team saying of being a finder keeper, like really the retention, it is so much easier to retain a customer. I think maybe if you could talk to us a little bit about, if you compare it to your days back in retail. You know, back in retail when you were there, Bron, it was they'd come in and get something and go, compared to what we have with the reshipment. And, you know, some people see that as not a great thing. What's your thoughts on that?
Look, with a customer, and yes, the 4 months goes around very, very quickly, doesn't it? We blink and you know, 120 days is on our plate. I believe the reship is a great way to create that culture with your customer. I think that's really, really important. And I always make a note, and one of my systems is I print out my preferred customer genealogy on the 1st of every month. And then I'll go through and mark all the people that their next cycle is going out that month. And then I immediately, they are the first people, even though I've got a note in my diary, but it's like a double checkup to make sure I contact them and make sure that they're ready to take their next cycle of Juice Plus. Now, don't be afraid if they say, look, can you delay it? Because we don't know what's gone on in their life. And you have to sometimes look in the mirror and say, well, have I given good customer care to keep them in the habit? Because they're not, when they're brand new, they're not raving fans yet. They're nowhere near raving fans until they've been with you for many years. So never think that, why didn't they take their product every day? It's because we are all the same. We get out of habits very quickly. I know I do in the winter. You know, in summer, I'm out on the streets at 6 o'clock in the morning, walking, doing my exercise. Come winter, I snuggle up in bed and I think, oh, I'll do that later. And I don't do it. So customers are the same. Even though we ask them to put their product near their toothbrush. Do you clean your teeth every day? These sort of things. So when the end of their cycle and we're at their new one, it's okay to delay and just say, I'm glad that we've had this conversation. I'm glad we've had this conversation because I can see that perhaps for when I ring you in 2 or 3 weeks' time to see if you're ready, I ask them to count how many capsules they have left so that I know when to phone them so to get their next cycle coming. And they love that. They say, oh, I've been very naughty. And I say, that's fine, but I don't want our stock sitting in your pantry. So to me, I value that they need to be able to adjust the order at any time. And that's where the customer portal, I mean, I looked at my report at the first of this month, and one of my mates, I looked at it and I thought, what's going on here? He'd actually been in on his portal and changed his order, and it happened just before I got the email from head office to notify me. And I'm thinking, but we're only having dinner 3 weeks ago. And then I looked in the mirror and said to myself, you didn't even mention, was he ready, you know, that his next cycle was due, and now he's put it off for a few months. So I had to have a good chat to myself about that one. So guys, it's a matter of putting yourself in their shoes all the time. That's how I look at customers. You've got to put yourself in their shoes all the time and keep them in their habit. Because can you all put your hands up and say to me truthfully that you've taken it every day and not missed a day because you've been preoccupied?
Agreed.
Hey?
Wonderful. No, true. It's so true, isn't it? We do slip out of habits. There's a few questions come through, Bronnie.
Okay.
What's the average age of your customers?
Average age, I've got across the board. I've got a few 22-year-olds, quite a few in their 40s, and then I've probably got, off the top of my head, 50s and 60s. I haven't got too many. I've only got the 3 in the 70s.
Excellent. So definitely a broad range there, from the 20s to the 70s.
And you know, our children's health study has really been, you know, that is in those 40s. And they just absolutely love. It's just a matter of timing whether or not they wish to join the business. I always mention the business to people after they become a bit more of a raving fan. But I listen to their pain. I listen for pain points all the time.
Which is easy to do when you're having lots of contact with them and giving good customer care. You'll know what's going on in their life.
Absolutely.
And yeah, to have that conversation, if they're absolutely loving it, their kids are running out of chews all the time and they're running out of complete quickly, then that's a good time for them to be signing up and sharing the love too. Jess Garland has asked, hello Jess, do you follow a customer care plan, so day 1, day 5, etc., or do you just do what feels is right for each customer?
Every customer is different. For me, it's a matter of, yes, you use your the basic plan, but with some customers, I have found I had one particular customer that just couldn't get into the habit. So what I did was I would text them. I said, are you open for a text every day? would you accept my text message every day as a reminder, have you taken your 2 fruit, 2 veg, 2 berry today? I said, all I need back from you is a yes or a no. And I said, let's do that for the next month and see if we can get you really into a habit. And that's what we achieved. Because when they are taking it every day, particularly our premium, they are going to get the results of vitality. That's my belief, that they will if they take it every day, because we know that it is the catalyst for the changes that they will make in their health along the way, because I'm always reminding them each time I speak with them, I'm reminding them how much water are you drinking? How many more fruits and vegetables are you getting into your diet? And probably the biggest thing that I get back is that they have actually increased their water. And we all know how important that is. And we know that that's going to give them the vitality, the energy to get on with their day than having a tea and a coffee. A lot of my customers, I have taken them down the Shred 10 program. And that's when I get that real change. I suggest that they give it a go and get them so that they understand, by getting rid of certain things for just 10 days, it can create another habit for them. So I do that probably on about the 3rd cycle of Juice Plus. I'll suggest, how about, would you like to lock arms with me for 10 days and do what we call a Shred 10? And they'll say to me, well, what does that involve? And I'll say, going on complete, which I've given you a sample of, and also getting off coffee and alcohol for 10 days. We're going to do a detox.
Detox together. That's brilliant. And again, guys, the Life app that's coming out, that is going to make this all so much easier. I've been playing on that today. It's still in testing mode. It gives you video recipes. It's giving you some exercise. Like there's a video of a guy doing some stretches and exercises, and it's all so doable. And it's fun and it's bright, and it's all been put together by the team in Europe. And so the graphics are amazing. We're very excited about that. And, you know, by getting a lead in now and doing this great customer care now is going to set you up for, you know, having that conversation and getting them excited about the customer portal and them excited about the Life app. And it's just another thing that you can do together. There are more questions. Christine's jumped on. She's also a numbers person, and she said if everyone aims for a 5-1 every month, it works out to 12 new frontline over the year and 60 new customers, which is about 13,000 in retail profit alone. So there you go. Not to mention how much your business will grow, your pay line will grow. How many customers do you currently have, Bron?
I'm sitting at about 45.
Amazing. What a great goal to have. 45.
Guys, I wouldn't be looking at any less than that.
Yeah.
Don't look at any less than that, because, you know, eventually you'll get team out of that. All of my frontline in my business were customers first. I've never been able to recruit and bring them in as a customer stroke franchisee at once. They've all been raving fans, and I recommend that. For me, I recommend that because they're raving fans. They understand the system. So your teaching is so much easier because they understand the culture of the company. They understand the product. They understand how this business works. They've been part of your culture as a community as well, because they've experienced it. So to me, it takes away the hard work of bringing a brand new person in.
I totally agree. In fact, Christine is my only frontline who wasn't a customer first. She just jumped on everything straight away. But I'm the same, Bron. All my frontline have been customers, and I've been able to share some good customer care and brought them in. All right, now Paulie has a question, and I'm going to read it to you. He needs some advice. This is a dear Bron.
Paulie.
I have a brand new customer who has started on fruit and veg and Omega, and she's thinking about joining the business to cover the cost of her Juice Plus. She's always been into healthy living and done other network marketing businesses in the past, but due to the fact that her friends have said, if you ever do a home event, we won't come. I know that our customers come from much wider than our friends, but what are your thoughts around this, Bronnie?
Okay. I've got lots of friends that in my 21 years have never ever, they know what we're on, but they're not interested in going on the product. I would suggest, Paulie, that that's okay that they don't want to be on the product. But you know what? I love standing in front of all these people that don't want to know anything about the product and just say, look, I'm not on any medication. I'm not whinging about the aches and the pains because I don't have any of that. Let her just be the example of what they could look like, and then they may want to come. I've got a few that are starting to sniff around after 21 years of close friends. They're starting to ask me about the Omegas, and I just say, look, you don't want these. You don't want these. You've been pushing them away for ages. But that's a bit of a joke that I have with them because they're close friends. But to me, you go beyond your friends because all they're trying to do is protect you. They don't want you to get hurt in that so-called business. But to me, it's a matter of for that person to lock arms with you, Paul, and you actually lock arms with her or him, her, and just take them down the road of people other than these people that are negative Nellies, as I call them. Easy. You just...
Awesome.
And she would need, Paul, she would need between, so what is she on? She's on fruit, veg, berries and Omega.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You would need to be helping her cover off on about 14, 15 PCs to cover the cost of her product.
Mm-hmm.
For fruit and veg, it's around about 9/10. So that's what you've got to look at. And just help her get those customers. And you are the perfect person, my friend, to be able to do that with her. Not for her, with her. And all it is doing those three-way conversations with someone that she puts in front of you. You know what to do, Paulie.
Sure does. You've been around nearly as long as Bronnie, haven't you, Paul? It's got to be close. Another question that's come in, and I'm gonna not sure that this is a thing that you would actually do, but do you have private customer groups on social media?
Do I have customer groups on social media?
Yes.
No, I don't. Teams do. Yes, they put a lot of the social media queens here in Perth have their Facebook customer group. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What we do is we'll have a customer night where we'll hire a venue, and we basically have a couple of guest speakers. They're not necessarily the display of Juice Plus and everything is there, but it's not necessarily a Juice Plus event as such, but it always turns into that at the end, because people bring people, and then somebody will stand up and tell their story.
Which is definitely where we're headed with Super Saturdays on the East Coast.
Yes, I'm not sure of what you're doing. I'd love someone to share that with me.
Super Saturday, Bron, we do a 30-minute Juice Plus event at the beginning, introduction of the product and the business. Then we have a guest speaker on various topics, whether it's health or could be all sorts of things, an interesting speaker that we can invite somebody to. And then we have a bit of a break, and then we do a bit of team training for about an hour, but we invite people to stay. Like, if they want to learn a little bit more, we do some team training, and it's you know, business training. So it's a great opportunity to invite people in. So that's what our Super Saturdays have been doing over here, which has been a great place for us to invite. And we do little goodie bags for the guests, lucky door prizes for guests. It's pretty good, actually. Great things to be able to invite into.
Well, guys, I think you should be taking customers to those events big time. I would be really encouraging each and every one of you that's on this call tonight to challenge yourself. How many people are you going to take to that next event? Because the events is where they see and feel the energy and the true, authentic, and they can trust more when they feel this in the room. And that's what we are as Juice Plus franchisees. We are about like-minded, high-energy people that come from our hearts, and that's what they're going to feel when they come to an event. To me, it's a must. I don't not have a guest at any events, and we are having. Tamara and Natalie do Doctor and Foodie every Wednesday night, and it's just so much fun. And I've always got a preferred customer there alongside me, as well as a prospect.
Fantastic. I agree. I think there's nothing better than bringing them in to see the community, because apart from needing better health, the connection, the face-to-face connection, having people at an event, being able to see and feel the energy, I think that's really, really important. So yeah, I'm very grateful for our Super Saturdays over here too. So I think that was all of the questions, and we are going really, really well on time. If I miss anyone, please holler. I've missed Michelle's question, but I can't find it. I can't find it in the feed. Michelle, ask the question. Sorry, I've just scrolled up and I just can't seem to locate that. But we have a question for you, Bron, because we like to ask our guests a question. Hang on, has it popped up? Sorry, question. Michelle's question was, do you have a specific niche that you go for when it comes to customers? I think it's pretty broad, isn't it, Bron?
Oh, my customers, look, I believe everybody needs Juice Plus. So I don't put people into a category. I will talk to anybody. And my favourite place to talking to people is going into Coles and Woolworths into the supplement aisle. And I just stand there. You would just all crack up. I have fun with myself. I have a little chat with myself and have fun about this. But I stand there and people walk up and I just turn to them and say, it's a real nightmare, isn't it? And they look at me and I say, what are we supposed to be taking? Are we supposed to be taking this one or that one or that one or that one? And I basically turn around and they say, yeah, I know, that's why I'm standing here. I just don't know what to get. I said, well, you know what I'd suggest to you? And they say, no. Start looking at plant-based. Start going down the aisle to the fruit and veggies. Don't worry about this stuff. The other stuff works better. And then they start chatting, and then basically I've got their name, I've got their mobile number, and I'm sending them a link.
Love it. I said, I once got asked, if this is from Liz, I once got asked to leave a store as I was on the phone selling one of my retreats. You were talking to someone, Liz, is that what you were doing? And they chucked you out? You get booted out if you're in Sydney. I've done the same sort of thing. Do you know, I think it was Emma Karen that once told me that she would go and talk to people in shops and look in their trolleys and talk to them about what they were putting in their trolleys, and then...
Oh, no, don't go that way.
Oh, no, but I remember Emma Karen telling me the story, and I went, oh, man, you're so bold. But that's, she's a pom. I think they're a little bit bolder, aren't they? Someone you could tell us. So, yeah, well, thinking outside the box is definitely, you know, we didn't have social media when we first started. I mean, I certainly didn't. So, yeah, it was definitely all those conversations. So, Bronnie, our question for you is, if there was a billboard that all the world could see and you could have a message on that billboard for the world to see, what would it say?
Wow. What would it say? What would that billboard say for me? Oh, gosh. I'm stuck.
That's
okay.
First. You have a think about it. You have a think about it. I'm sure you'll come up with something.
The world needs to look. The world needs to look at plant-based health.
Brilliant. And then with your website at the bottom.
Of course.
Your phone number. You're brilliant.
I mean, for me, that's what we're about. We are about plant-based foods. We're hunters and gatherers. We're just carrying the message from right back there. That's what we're about. And we need to take people back to plant-based foods. And we're there to bridge their gap.
Brilliant. Amazing call. Bronwyn Hunter, superstar NMD from the West. Thank you so much. I am forever grateful for our friendship and for your nurturing of me along my journey, and you continue to do so. You can never, ever go to a conference without hugs from Bronnie and a chat and a check-in and our regular check-ins with one another. This is the epitome of a sideline relationship. This is someone I can call when I need to have a chat about something, someone I can ask for advice from when I need, you know, to have a sideline sister to have a chat to. So I'm most grateful for your friendship, for your time that you are giving us tonight, that we can never repay you for your time, but I know that there's been so much gold delivered here. Your grace and style, you know, and just old-fashioned, just get on with it and look after your customers. And, you know, outside social media, just picking up the phone and texting and checking in. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful advice and processes. All the message feed is going off with thank you. That was gold. There's lots of chats in there. Right. Bronwyn, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you to the team for being here tonight. It's wonderful to see all your faces.
I would love to see each and every one of you. Don't leave that money on the table. Do a 5-1 this month. Make that your intention, because we haven't touched enough people yet with our products. So please make that your intention. Don't think it, ink it, write it down, write the people down, go do it and pick up some cash. on the way.
Yep, let's get Peter's money.